Hello, everybody out there in the internet. Welcome to Aimless Babble Z, episode 240. Was it 4? I forgot. Sorry.
Good job.
You
literally just went over that.
I know, but I didn't. I was like, yeah, whatever, number, and then yeah.
To be fair, we just heard it. Do you remember what it was?
It was 244. Okay, I looked it up again. So yeah, I'm taking Vester, joined by
RPG Maniac 05.
And Trioptical.
So yeah, we have so much been playing, and then who knows? Because we didn't talk about anything else in the pre-show. So yeah, who wants to
we have a
talk about what they've been playing first?
Well, I
admit.
Obviously, the big thing for the past week has been the Destiny beta. I checked out both the PS3 and PS4 version.
Oh, I guess we could just start with that because
yeah,
I think there's a new king about to ascend to the throne.
Yes,
and restore order.
That is true. It's crazy. I was not sure going into the beta. Playing the alpha, I thought, it's kind of fun. What's it gonna be like? And then with the beta, just having more of that content. I don't know, just having more content to dig into has really let me see that, oh my gosh, this is the beta size. And so the main game is going to be humongous then, right? It seems like it's going to be huge, and there's just going to be a ton of stuff to do in it.
I did not realize that the game was like an MMO, kind of, or something.
Oh, you didn't know that?
No, because when I was playing it, I was playing by myself or whatever, and there was just like a bunch of random people in the places I was, and I was like, what is this? I don't remember inviting you people in my game, but so I didn't realize that they'd be there.
That's the coolest part, and actually there's a bit of controversy about it right now, but my favorite part of the beta is, and it's going to be in the full game, but it's the voice chat. The way that they do voice chat is something that I don't think I've ever seen before. Usually with voice chat, the systems just sort of, they deliver pure sound, vocals over, whatever the microphone on the other end hears. That's what you hear in your headset, minus, some of the quality gets lost. But this one, in Destiny, what they do is they actually process the sound that the microphone takes in on the other end, and then plays it back in the context of whatever is happening in the game. So if you're in like a small room or a cave, there's some echo. And the coolest one was the hangar when I went in to show Tekken the processing, and it was just, you could hear, it just sounded like we were talking in this vast space, even though I was just sitting in my living room, and Tekken was probably in that place where he sits for chatting with Tekken. If you've never seen that, right there. This is where he's sitting right now. And it was just so awesome. And can't wait to hear what it sounds like in different places. But I don't know, it really adds to the immersion. It's sort of like they went one step further. They keep talking about integrating sort of social stuff and single player and multiplayer. This is one step further than anyone has ever done, where even the voice, even when you're speaking, and you can be talking about other stuff, you're not necessarily talking about the game, and yet it feels like part of the game because it sounds like it's in the game.
Where you're at.
Yeah.
The game.
And it's just
you're still in the universe.
It is so awesome. That's so good.
Is voice chat always on kind of thing, or you have to?
So this is the controversy part where you can only voice chat with people in your fire team. Unless you go through the party chat at the system level, you can only chat with people in your fire team. And there's people complaining online where they want to be able to yell at their teammates in the Crucible, but if they're not in the same fire team, you can't hear each other. And they're just like, oh, this totally destroys team play, blah, 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 blah. It's like, well, and, Bungie's stance is, you say team play, but most of the time what you hear is people yelling at you because you're not playing up to their standards, or they lost and they're upset, and it's just like, that is not the experience that they want for Destiny, so they want people to be able to control who they hear and who they can talk to.
And besides, what if you're like talking about something completely random with your team? You don't want everybody in the entire server to hear you talking
Yeah.
about it. So it's like these guys are over here talking about anime and stuff. We're in the middle of a firefight. What's going on here? So it's like, hey, it's probably better if it's just your fire team.
Yeah, I'm okay with just the fire team thing. I sort of wish the fire teams were bigger, but
I was gonna say that too.
yeah. So far, I guess all the situations, like some of the situations, would not be quite as intense. Like the strike would not be as awesome if the fire teams were 8 people.
That's a lot of people. I was thinking more like along the lines of 4 or 5, but that.
Well, I'm hoping later on in like expansions or whatever they can like have different modes or different story that's like made for bigger fire teams. Hopefully,
Yeah,
or maybe
that
have
would
like
be cool.
fire teams that combine with each other or something.
Yes, that's what I was thinking too. It's like like Alpha Bravo. Oh, it's like sorry. It just makes me think of like Ghost in the Shell, like Section 9 of like like Motoko and Togusa and Bato. You guys go here, and then Saito, Buma,
Just, like
and
speaking in their brains.
yeah.
That's pretty invasive.
Wait, so RPG, you haven't heard the voice chat yet?
I haven't, because I've only played just with me, because nobody else is playing the PS3.
I'll show it to you later.
So, everyone's like, oh, we're all on the PS4 because you suck, PS3. I was like, oh, that's real nice.
It's really cool. Well, so one thing I noticed was the install on PS3 was sort of easier. It was basically a standard PS3 install. You downloaded the beta, you launched in, there was probably a patch, you patched it, and then it was good to go. Whereas on the PS4, you downloaded a really tiny thing from the store, you launched it, and then that thing downloaded, I think it was like 10 gigs. Which
Is
took
it similar to like how
almost an
DC
hour.
Universe Online does it?
Yeah, kind of. So I guess it's prettier than watching the standard download thing on PS3.
That's how they
So yeah, minor difference. After that though, the visuals in the PS3 version look pretty good. I mean, if you have the choice, why would you go with the PS3 version? The PS4 version does look better, but if you don't have a choice, like the PS3 version looks really good. The only difference is like, so for example, when you're in orbit and you're looking at your ship, it's not as crisp as on the PS4. And, that, just saying that, hearing that, that's a really minor thing. Your character is not as crisp in the menu screen. I guess things aren't as crisp, but yeah, it looks really good on PS3.
It does. I was getting some like serious Mass Effect vibes from the game though, which is
I was too. Oh, especially when I saw the map, because I was like, oh dude, and it was like you have Earth, and you have the Moon. And I was just like, dude, how far does it go? How far does it go? The full version. It's like, like right now, like to me, it's like I cannot stop playing the beta. It's like I'm already hooked and like cracking out on the beta, and it's like just like chomping at the bit to get the full version, because it's just like, dude, I just like no, just I'm gonna like just crack out so hard in that game. Like I cannot wait to just like stream it for 24 hours and then like back to back 24 hours and be like, watch Taken just crack out until he passes out and just like whatever. I don't care. Just get to me now, Bungie. I'm ready. I'm ready for it.
Like, what are you doing now? I mean, obviously you finished all 3 classes.
I was just exploring.
Oh, you're just running around old Russia?
I was exploring and I was trying to like get my Vanguard rank up to get the banners, but I was like, dude, this is like not going in very fast.
Oh, how is there like a level cap for all the classes in the beta? Oh, how high is it?
It's level 8, right? Yeah.
Yep.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
so
you get
the full version. It's 20.
Well, yeah.
Oh,
well,
really?
it would have to be higher because the secondary.
Wait,
classes
no,
are like 15,
there's
right?
a 30. There's level 30 equipment in the beta.
Oh, there's?
Yeah, if you go to I think it's one of the stores, they have level 30 equipment.
Oh. Because I was just about to say, I mean, you don't unlock your secondary classes until 15, so it has to go higher than that, obviously. So.
Yeah, that part kind of such a tease. Either they're gonna expand it some point in the beta, or it's gonna be. Or, they just, didn't write everything. They're just like, it's a beta, people understand. And so you get level 9 and level 10 equipment once you've played a bit at level 8. And it's like, I want it.
She'll never be able to use it.
The only rare equipment is level 9 or level 10 that I've seen. It's like, I want them. I want to wear them. Yeah, that part is strange. I didn't expect that. I mean, I guess that's an aspect of MMOs.
Yeah, and it's cool because it's not just the guns like Borderlands, it's like all the stuff of your character that they can wear, so much like an MMO, like we've been saying.
Yeah. Did you buy another ship?
I bought one ship for each character.
Ah.
Just to look at all the different types of them.
That was fun.
Are you wasting your money on frivolous things?
Yeah, I was wasting money on ships because I was like, you know what, this is a beta. I don't care about the money, and so I dismantled everything else I had in my inventory, got up to basically the, like, was it 2,000 something glimmer is the currency, and then, I just bought a ship, and it's cool to see that you have a different ship in orbit, and then I started playing, so the special Mars event thing was, just Crucible, so Tekken, you didn't miss out, but, yeah, it's like you're flying with all the other ships, and it's like, oh, you have a different ship, and everyone else is like being
We're in a squadron of ships, and they all look different.
I guess that's the other part I really like. The load screens are so good.
I love load screens.
I wonder, were they shooting maybe for no loads, and then when they couldn't get that, it's like, you know what, it looks so cool anyway. And now I'm sort of like, sometimes like, oh, it's done loading. I wanted to fly through this warp tunnel a bit longer.
That's the other thing I can't wait to see, like, the different, like, loading for the zones, like, when you're going to other places, of, like, what they look like, if they all look unique. Ugh.
That part of the Crucible is really neat, because I think right now it's just, there's one level on Venus and one level on the Moon.
Yeah.
And if the previous game that you just played was on the Moon, then when you load into the next game, and it's also on the Moon, your ship doesn't go through the warp thing again. It just, you see it flying above the Moon, and then it goes down to the surface. And it's like, oh, that's so cool. They thought of everything. What else? It's just, yeah, I was not on board, but now I'm kind of like Tekken. I was like, come on. Please. Well, I mean, don't do it too soon, but hurry up, September. I want to play the full version now.
Well, I mean, there's only like 1 month, because doesn't it come out in like the beginning of September?
Yeah, September 9th.
I'm starting to think that Destiny may be the only game one would need in the fall. Because I'm thinking about the other ones, like, okay.
Well, one got delayed into next year, we'll talk about in the news, and then one got delayed to November from the crowd in October. So I was like, whoa.
I have to go cancel that. Get the chance. I was like, oh, that was a bad idea. No, I can't get it now. So, yeah.
But, just this past week I've been trying a different thing with my schedule so I can make something cool, and so I've played a lot less. And yeah, so I'm thinking, looking at the games coming out in the fall and the holiday season, and looking at the games that I haven't finished, and looking at me really wanting Destiny, is like, why should I buy any of the other games? RPG was talking about, Assassin's Creed Unity? It's like, well, I haven't beat 4 yet. I think I've played like 2 missions in that, and then Assassin's Creed 3, I sort of ran through the main story, and apparently, like, all the cool stuff is in the side missions. So that's
By
2.
all the cool stuff, you mean the naval battles, because those are the only good parts about Assassin's Creed 3.
So that's 2 games in the series that I've yet to really go through.
A tropical co-op murder. Co-op murder.
Isn't every game co-op murder?
No. Maybe.
Really? What did we do in Alien Swarm?
Well, that doesn't count. They weren't.
What about
people.
Payday?
That was for money. It doesn't count.
Borderlands.
That was for money.
They were mutated animals. Still doesn't count. But it's co-op stealth murder. Tropical co-op stealth murder.
We'll see. I will. Well, I'm doing Extra Life this year because they convinced me to do that, and I just thought watching Yukino do it for several years, like that seems like a good thing to do, and I don't have a day job, so yeah, let's do it. And so hope that will be my backlog beatdown 24 hours. That should be exciting. Or terrifying, because I'll be really tired.
There's that.
So we'll see.
Why hasn't Tekken done it? He already marathon stuff anyway.
Because it happens when I'm working.
I should do it for cash. Well, okay, that makes it sound really bad.
A little bit, but still.
For charity.
Now you're right the first time. Let's go that way. Money. It makes the world go round.
Anything else for Destiny? Oh, I wish it was cross-buy.
I could talk exclusively for Destiny, so I'll just jump in here.
All right.
So yeah, I think this game is the next great leap forward in first-person shooter game design. Just like the shooting, it feels there's scopes on guns, and it just feels very tight and very good. Like Call of Duty gives me those nice feels, and then just like the maneuverability is like double jumping. That's really cool, and like it's like cool. I really love how you can go into like third person mode in the social areas. So it's like I'm hoping it's like getting this little taste of the beta. It just makes me like just kind of like envision in my mind of like the big picture and like is this what they're going for? Like if it's not what they're going for, like maybe it can be something cool like this. But it's like there's like you have the tower on Earth, so I'm wondering like if you get like further on into the outer reaches where you're fighting in the dark, if like there's other outposts and whatever, so it's like, oh, what cool places are they going to be out there, and like stuff like that. And then like the vehicles, so it's like clearly those are like I guess mounted designs or something, or like influence from those from like other MMOs like mount. Yeah. So it's like I'm wondering like if later on there could be like some sort of like mount where it's like you can have like more than one person on them, because like just everybody having their own is cool, but I mean. Not to say I miss Borderlands, but it was kind of cool to have like everybody in the same vehicle. So
people manning guns and stuff.
It'd be nice if they were on it. It could be like multi or like a full fire team just in a mount and like having it be designed like that. And then after seeing like that there was a tank in the PvP, even though I never got inside of it, maybe that's like in the single player somewhere. So that'd be cool. And then let's see, just like the whole like, the idea of like expansions and how they just keep adding on, that just like adds so much to it. 'Cause it's like, man, just from the beta, it's like I have like. Just like, just all these cool things that like they could do, because it's like one thing I would like hope they would do, because I kept it's funny, like whenever I was playing with anybody, I'd be like, hold on, I got a share button. So like,
damn it, Tekken.
I kept thinking share button selfies in the tower with all my friends. So I was like, I'd like one thing like okay. What I would like them to do is like, since they have like the emotes mapped to the D-pad, so it's like up is point, right is dance, I think, left is oh wait, no, up is wave, left is point, and then right is dance, down is sit. So I'm hoping like later on there could be some sort of like thing where you could just like do like the whole I don't know how this would work, but like if 2 people or 3 people, like a whole fire team, just like want to be like in a group thingy pose for like the share button, because that's it's kind of hard to coordinate that, because I was like gamer, stop moving, and then J-Bong over here, like, do something where I'll get like a group pose, and then we can like rotate the camera and then just like share button it. That'd be cool. That's just like a special thing for me. Like I kept thinking about that. I was like, man, I wish there was like an easy way to share button this, like everybody in the frame, because it gets hard to do. It's like I stand next to Yukino and she's like, I can't. It's like I'm having issues here trying to center the camera, stupid camera. So that's funny.
How do you have your share button set up?
I don't even actually try to go. It's funny. I was streaming like 90% of the time. I think the only time I wasn't streaming was like when it suddenly like crapped out and I didn't notice. I was like, oh, I'm not streaming. What the F? And then like it's like weird, because I pushed the share button to like upload those pictures, and then I saw that I was also capturing video at the same time, and I didn't know that the share button did video and stream at the same time. I thought that was like a thing that like disabled when you were streaming. So I was like, oh, okay, cool. So I can do both at the same time now. But I have it set to have like the video sharing for 50-minute lengths, and then my streaming I have for high quality with the mic on but the camera off and the comment off.
How do you have your button on? Do you do long press for screenshots, or just the single press for screenshots?
Single press for single press for screenshots.
Okay. Yeah.
That's what I have too. Oh, and then also
but I mean,
go ahead. Okay, I was gonna say, like, in the explore mode, I figured something out too when I was playing, that if you push the touchpad, it will show you in the area that you're in, like, where the beacons are and like what types of missions that will trigger.
Yeah.
So that's really helpful because there's some mission types that like send you so far away, or they're just like annoying to do and they're not fun. So it's just like, oh, dude. Sorry, I just remember something. This is gonna keep happening. I'm sorry. I'm just gonna get all over this game because I'm already in love. I'm already in love. But it's like an arranged marriage. I'm like, dude, Destiny, we know we're getting together. And Destiny's like, yeah, check it.
An arranged
It's fantastic. And it's like, dude, this is it. This is the one. This is the one. I know it. So yeah, it's like public events, dude. Those are effing awesome. Just like, you're in the world, stuff is going down, and all of a sudden it's just like, everything goes dark. And it's like, whoosh, and just like, a dropship out of nowhere. And it's like, uh-oh. Or something else happens, and it's like, uh-oh. And it's like, damn. It's like, oh, something's happening. Oh. And it's like, into the world stuff. It's like, oh, epic. Oh. It's like, it's like that, just the spectacle and just like the coolness of like when stuff goes down. And it's like, oh, do you want to join this event? It's like, every time I'm like, yes, let's do this ghost. And it's just like, yeah. Oh, that's the whole other thing when we talk about the ghost. But yeah, like, so it's like, you're doing this like event, and it's like, you're there with all these random people, you don't even know them, but it's like, together you unite as one, and you try to conquer the objective and get it, like, yeah, and we're all on the same team, even though we don't even know each other. It's like, yeah, Guardians go, and it's like, just, yeah, it's a really good feeling when you're just playing with strangers and working together, and, yeah.
Stranger danger
It's great times, man. It's like, hey, there was no stranger danger during Public Events RPG. It was fantastic awesomeness.
Although they do seem similar to the Fate events in Final Fantasy 14.
Yeah, they are.
Okay, because that's what I'm saying. Although there doesn't seem to be like a lot of people playing on a PS3, because I guess everybody's like Xbox One or PS4 now, so they're like, so there's not as many people at the events. Because I ran into a few of them while I was out on missions, but it was only like a few people around, so I was like, oh. I guess this is similar to that, but there's like no one here. So
the cool thing about the events in Destiny is they're really well designed. I mean, I think, well, the tank one is really cool because even if you have a ton of people, it's not like it turns into a cakewalk. It's they have a big boss thing, and then there's like lots of little things going on around it, and you have to figure, like, the first few times you have to figure out what is the best way to take out the boss thing. It's not obvious. In Final Fantasy 14, it's just sort of, if there's a ton of guys in the area or like players, the events end pretty quickly because it's just like, oh, these things have come to attack, and you just go and hit them as much as you can, and it's like, oh, it's over, it's done.
That's the other thing is, like, I haven't been in a public event with like a ton of people. It's only been like, there's usually like, depending on like the public event, it'll say like how many people are in the event. So it's like, like 3 or 4 usually, because it's like the fire team I'm in, or like, a couple random people. So it's like, it hasn't been that crowded. So I'm hoping in the full version there's some like pretty crazy, just like all over the place, like massive battlefield stuff going down, and just like scorched earth stuff happening. I'm just like, I don't know what's happening, gamer. And just like everything's going crazy. Just cannot wait. So it's like, so far in the beta, there's been like the defend the satellite thingy from the waves of enemies, the tank thingy, the assassinate the dude thingy, which I cannot get.
Those are really hard.
That one I've not gotten, at least not golden. So I think those are the 3 I can remember. There might be like one more, but yeah. So I'm hoping like there's one more of those 2, and they're like, so good. And then, the ghost thing, that's pretty cool. He's all talking to you all the time, like your guide through the world and stuff, so that's fun. And then, okay, I didn't see the shot, but when I was playing with the gamer, he's saying something about like, oh, you can, change the skin on it or whatever. So like outside of the Guardian Edition, you can like change the skin on it, I guess.
Well, there's a menu thingy that implies that you can, but I haven't like gotten anything to be able to do it. So
yeah,
that's I didn't see it, so I wasn't sure.
Because the ghost appears in your gear, and it just it makes it look like you can either get different ghosts or make them look different. To make your ghost
it's cool because like when you're in the dark areas, when your PlayStation 4 controller lights up and shows you the way.
That's part of
you don't really have this on the PS3, obviously.
You can see your friend's ghost. So it's like, oh, that's pretty cool. So it's like, that'd be cool to like have your little custom ghost there. Just like it has the custom chips, and like when you're in orbit, it's like, like Jonathan said, that's just like, that's my favorite part. Is like when you're in orbit with your fire team, and everybody's got their ship, and it's like, yep, let's do this. It's just like, oh.
See,
to the battlefield.
I'm more okay with the PvP. So I was playing with Crafty, I think, and we were in a full fire team playing Crucible. So just like 6 of us in orbit. I was like, oh, this looks awesome! Everyone, go buy ships. You guys all have the same ship, and it's sort of weird that I have the different sort of evil-looking ship. So everyone can get a different ship, and then we'll swoop in, and it's going to be awesome.
Yeah, that's the other cool thing about like just the aesthetics of your armor and stuff when like you're with your friends and whatever is like just you can compare if you're the same class and be like, oh, so you have that and that was this and like, or you have that color, not that color, because I was the hunter, but I didn't have the cool like little the shroud thingy that Yukino had. I was like, oh, I want one of those things. So
the hoodie,
yeah, that thing. Yeah, I had like the little scarf over my face thing going on like J-Bond does. I was like, oh, that's not as cool. But now I'm wondering if it's like a gender thing since I was a male character and she was a female character. Because that's another cool thing I noticed was like, okay, so it's really cool. So it's like depending on your class, race, and gender, you have different animations for the emotes. So it's like your dancing will be different, and your, I think, wave will be different. Because like, I was a awoken female, and I did the wave thing, and it was like a little bow / curtsy thing. I was like, oh, that's so cool. It's like a noble. So, yeah, that was pretty cool.
And I think that the exo male is a salute.
Yeah, that's cool. So, yeah, it's awesome.
Cause I started 2 classes, I think, when I did it. Because I just started one for the warlock yesterday, but I was playing as a hunter before. So, but I haven't really been doing any emotes or anything. Because like I said, I've been playing by myself, so it would have been like...
People like to sit by other people who are sitting, apparently. If
I
you
noticed
sit down
that too.
on the tower, people will start to congregate around you and sit down.
Because when I saw like you guys, when I saw like sharing pictures of it, I was like, "What is this? The only thing people do in Destiny is just like sit next to each other?" Because when I was like going to the tower, I just see people just randomly sitting around. I'm like, "What is going on? Is it like some kind of? Did I miss an event or something?" So it's so weird.
Yeah, that's like one of the weird things when I was like doing the share button with Gamer. I was like, "Oh, you're doing the sit animation with the female warlock, and it makes it look weird. Let's just both stand up." And also the whatchamacallit. Oh, okay, so like the guns, dude. So it's like not only do you like level up yourself and like your skills and whatever, and like be able to like swap out grenade skills, which is cool. I'm guessing like later on stuff when you get subclasses. So it's like all the guns, like so it's like you can level them up to where it's like you have different stuff going down to where it's like this gun will it's not really I guess some stuff okay let me calm down. Some stuff is a stat increase, and then some stuff is like adding or taking stuff off to make like certain stats better, like a scope to be like, oh, I can zoom in with this gun, or I can zoom in, or I can zoom in farther, or like even though I can zoom in farther with better range, I have my recoil is not as good, so the gun will be like all when I shoot it, so that's cool. And like, oh yeah, so basically in the beta, it's basically just the goal to get like uncommon guns, because that's the only thing that, or like I guess uncommon and higher rarity stuff will do that. Whereas like the normal stuff you can't do that. It's just like stuck the way it is. Whereas uncommon, it's like, oh, let me just load this gun up until it's super awesome and killing everything. So oh, also I saw something in like one of the shops where it's like you have this color palette or something on the gear. So I guess like later on, if you just like you want to have like one color set for all your stuff, you can just like switch it in. That's pretty cool. So but yeah, man, Destiny, I cannot wait.
So much
cannot
stuff.
wait.
Yeah, like
also the music just like ethereal, just sitting in the menus waiting for stuff. I don't care. That music is awesome. Okay, that wasn't as good. Whatever, it's good.
Just like
believe
that.
me.
Just like that.
It's probably better, but whatever. A bit rusty and stuff. So
So, well, we're going to get to this in the news, but this is sort of related, and mostly related to Destiny. It's just, I don't know what Xbox One can do at this point. Because, and, it's not as simple as saying, oh, there are more Xbox One exclusives coming out in the fall, because something like Destiny, and, it's not even related to it being tied to the PS4 and PlayStation and all that and, like, the exclusive content and things like that. It's just, like, there are parts of Destiny that I cannot imagine not having those things. Like the share button. That part is so awesome. And it's like, Xbox, you can do it, but it's not quite as seamless. And then the light bar on the controller is like, that's sort of like the voice chat thing. The voice chat thing isn't a huge game changer if you think about it, but it's actually it's really cool, you know, and just Destiny being such a good game already, having all those little touches make it just that more special. And so I feel like Destiny is a less special game on other consoles.
And if you look at the menus, there's the only parts that are behind the PlayStation Plus paywall are the PvP and the strike missions.
Yeah, that part's interesting too. It's like there will be,
at least according to the beta.
well, I guess we should ask someone with the Xbox One version. I don't. Maybe Gamer has it. Like, is that stuff all behind Xbox Live, or are they going for parity now? Where it's like, oh, these things aren't behind PS Plus, then we're not going to have it behind Xbox Live either. I don't know. Maybe. That was really confusing. But basically, it's when you look at the multiplayer PvP stuff and like the strike missions, it explicitly says PlayStation Plus required, which seems to suggest that if you just want to form a fire team and do the campaign or the story or whatever, you don't need PlayStation Plus, that's really cool.
Why wouldn't you have it? Because it's awesome. So
RPG Man equals 5, the newest PlayStation Plus convert on the Aimless podcast.
Yeah, there's just the little touches, I think, for me, really make Destiny. So even the PS3 version seems like, I can't push the share button. I can't, the light bar thing doesn't happen. Just lots of little things.
Oh, also, it glows yellow when your supercharger gets supercharged.
Yeah.
And I think it glows blue for a bit after you revive someone.
I can't wait.
I think it depends on your equipment. One of the equipment, I think, gives you a shield after you revive someone? Or is that everyone?
No, I think every time you revive someone, it's like, it says...
Do you get the shield? I don't think it's a
gear thing. I think it's like, it says something after you revive them, it's like, shielded or something.
Oh, okay.
And like, so you get this little
all the time
spurt of invulnerability.
Yeah. I actually do kind of like the Crucible. I want to see what other modes they have though, because it reminds me of Transformers multiplayer actually, which was back when I was playing it a lot. It struck me how it's sort of interesting. Is like the way to dominate in Transformers multiplayer is to think like a Transformer. So you're not turning into a car, you're a Transformer. Like, that's just a thing that you do. And so, especially with jets, if you turned into jet mode at the right times, like, you could totally decimate people because they just wouldn't be thinking. You could tell, it's like, oh, see, you're just playing it like a third-person shooter. But if you had turned into your vehicle mode, it would have been totally different. But you just, you decide not to do that. And so in Destiny, you can always call your Sparrow, which is like a speeder bike, at any time almost any time when you're outside in multiplayer. And this is like Transformers. Like, when you need to get somewhere, you got to do it fast, and this is how you do it fast. And it's like other multiplayer games, it's not really like that. Battlefield doesn't generally feel like that. Call of Duty has no vehicles, so.
Well, if you look at the mode list in the Crucible, it seems like there's going to be something similar. I don't like to speculate, but it seems like there's going to be something similar to Groundworks. It was something where it's like, lots of Guardians in a something, whatever. I was like, oh, this is probably going to be like a big team mode, so that'll be interesting. I'm guessing like some of the maps will be just absolutely massive since it's a planetary scale game.
That would be really cool. My wife was commenting how she really likes the voice of the commentator in the Crucible. I think it's the guy who played Chancellor Valorum. Oh, I'm sorry. That's from Phantom Menace. What's something good he's done? He's done good stuff. I can't think of any. Was he
What's something good he's done?
Was he Zod? in the old Superman movies?
I don't think so.
I don't know who you're talking about.
I don't know, though.
No, yeah, it's a different guy. Is it? Anyway, it's just, she was like, wow, his voice is very soothing and calm. It's not like a lot of other multiplayer shooters. Yeah.
Fuck you, dominating.
Hey, sometimes
Get those positions.
Get to A. We're losing A. Our UAV is online. EMP, take cover. Sorry.
That reminds me.
I
I
played
still
way
want to
too
get
much
the.
today.
I still want to
It's
get
still
the
in my brain,
Snoop
surprisingly.
Dogg
Oh,
announcer pack.
terrible.
That would be interesting.
I want to know what he says. Oh, it's gonna be a problem for me in the fall because you know, last year with the system launches and there's all the uncertainty. Is like, is anyone gonna buy them? You know, maybe we should offer this $10 upgrade deal, and so they did that. But this year there is no upgrade deal because they're like, oh, they got the money to spend, so no more deals. Deals are off.
They're like,
You
buy
want it?
big or go home.
So
Although
it's
they're
like,
the same price, though, so...
But yeah, like, what if I have different groups of friends on different systems?
Do you need to get better friends, Tropical? Clearly.
Yeah.
Simple as that.
Wow.
It is as simple as that.
That seems like another RPG slogan, doesn't it? Better friends.
RPG, are you getting a PS4 for Destiny? Or not for Destiny, but will you have one to play Destiny on?
I pre-ordered the bundle thingy.
Oh, okay, so you're getting the white one. Okay.
Yeah.
Yes, sorry.
So we don't have to. I don't have to worry about RPG. Man, it's been crazy.
Then I have someone that I won't have to worry about spending time in the crucible.
I think I saw the most people on my friends list online ever.
Yeah.
Over the weekend. It was like 50.
For 30. That was cool. Wow.
And yeah,
I think I saw the least
30 of them
online.
were playing Destiny. It's like,
I haven't seen Disney online in a long time. And I saw RPG tweet, oh, nobody likes to play on PS3.
Well, yeah, because it's like
playing on PS3.
My friends list has been like vacant for like the past like, week. There's been like 2 or 3 people online at most, and they're on Netflix. So it's like, well, I guess everyone's playing Destiny on the PS4 now. So it's like, yeah.
Well, like, a cool part about Destiny and your account is like just your account. It's somewhere off in the cloud or whatever. So it doesn't matter if I'm on PS3 or PS4. I can play as the same character.
Oh yeah, I should probably get it up. Name now.
So that's neat. That's sort of, but man, 120 for one game.
That's why I said just stick to the better friends, Tropical. Stick to the better ones. Just leave the losers behind. That's what I do.
Just
coming up. Because, like, Advanced Warfare is probably something that they want to play, but then it's on PS3? Really?
You've been spoiled by the PS4 is what it is. So now you can't even imagine. She's like,
It's a new curve to the console war, the civil war with any platform.
Like,
PS4, PS3, whose side you want? Next gen or current gen?
I don't know. It doesn't seem like much of a battle. Like I said, people have just abandoned the PS3, so it's like, everyone on my friends list apparently have PS4s, and I didn't know it because I mean, like I said, it's been like 2 or 3 people online. So I don't know.
Well, like Advanced Warfare is not even, it's Activision, so it's that thing again where someone else is making the last gen versions, and in this case, it's High Moon Studios, and they're good, but that was the love that was in Transformers. Do you think they have the same love for Call of Duty?
No, it's just a paycheck for them. Just a paycheck.
Maybe that's why there's mech suits now. That was their contribution.
It's true. It's like, it's either we do this in the future so we can have mech suits, or we don't do it at all. Sorry. It's like, fine, you can get your stupid Transformers in the stupid Call of Duty game.
And we want Sentinels. The Matrix kind, not the X-Men ones.
Fine. Although if it's the Days of Future Past ones, those Sentinels are pretty awesome. So, well, the future ones were anyway, not the past ones. They sucked, but
Hurry up and come out on Blu-ray.
When Tropical was talking about the voiceover, I didn't know what to expect from like the single player missions that you get to play, but it was nice to see that your character has at least a bit of dialogue. Because I was kind of afraid I was afraid they'd be like just like the silent, emotionless protagonist. So I'm glad at least there's NPCs that are like picking up that void feel. It doesn't seem like you have a lot of lines.
Yeah, that actually kind of caught me off guard at first when the character started talking. Because I was like, wait a minute, what? You can talk? So that was kind of weird at first. So yeah. But yeah.
And then didn't we? What did we say about the as they add voice actors or something? Tropical, because you're like Troy Baker, and I was like David Hayter.
I don't remember what we're talking about. It just sounded like there was a lot of. I don't remember what we're talking about, but yeah.
It's like they add stuff on, I guess. They add,
it was like the custom ghosts or something.
Ghosts.
I was like, are they just gonna sell like expansions and like your ghost can have all the
different people's voice actors? Could you imagine just
Kevin Conroy
something like that? Man, having Batman as your ghost, that would be interesting. It's like, not sure how I feel about this, but then I'd be expecting him to help me half the time, so I was like, you're effing Batman, save me! So, yeah.
You know, it's all like David Hayter, just so he could go, Metal Gear, aliens, shoot them, Guardian.
I don't know, Troy Baker's been in, like, everything recently. He's getting to, like, Nolan North levels now. It's like...
He actually was in everything. It's just we didn't know it.
Then there's that, too. But, I mean, now it's gotten to the point where he's, like, voicing people you actually see on screen now, so... Because before it's like, yeah, he may play a background character or two, but now he's been, like, main characters and stuff, so now he's, like, in everything, and you know it's him, so... Yeah. Whatever happened to Nolan North anyway? Is he still doing stuff? I mean, there's a new Uncharted coming out, though.
Disney Infinity trailer. He is Rocket Raccoon, I think.
Disney!
Alright. There's probably lots more to say about Destiny, but we'll move on. Or I'll move on. The only other thing I can remember playing, really, is The Walking Dead. I really wanted to play The Wolf Among Us, but Destiny, man. And today I thought, oh man, Tekken's going to be upset. So I should play
it. Actually, funny, Tropical, because I almost forgot about it, and then luckily I saw something on Social Network, and I was like, oh, Walking Dead today. Jump on Steam. Or I would have not even played it.
The internet's good for you like that. It's always there when you need it.
It is, there was stuff I wanted to say, and then I remembered, oh yeah, we can't talk about it. So...
Sorry. I'll play it eventually.
Oh, okay, I can talk about something weird that happened to me. There was a bug at some point, and it looked like there was a... You know, like Walking Dead, you would expect to see this, but I don't think it was supposed to be there. At one point, it was just like a quick flash, and I saw a man like hanging as if he had hung himself off the side of this building that we were in.
Oh my!
And I was like, was that there before? And then I thought about it, I was like, well, no, if he was hanging there, like, there's nothing for him to be hanging from. So I think it was just a bug. It was just like something floating there, or a guy floating there.
Actually, it's weird because I had a bug in my game too, where like there was dialogue and it was like talking or whatever, and then like just for whatever reason, Clementine had like her head roll, her eyes rolled in the back of her head. I was like, whoa, what the? That's like a split second, and then like it returned to normal. I was like, oh, that's never happened before.
Well, my bug, the other bug that happened to me was kind of like that, but it lasted for much longer. Luke, his right eye. Like, his right eyeball disappeared. So I could see inside of his, like, head model the whole time.
That's...
At first, because it was from an angle, and I was like, does Luke have lazy eye? I don't remember that. And then, then it was, like, straight on. I was like, oh, wait, it looks like that because his eyeball is missing. And there's just the hole in the front of the model where the eye goes. And then it's just like, then you see the back inside of the model. It was very distracting. I was like, this moment is, I think it's supposed to be significant, but it just feels weird. It's like, did he get hurt earlier? Oh man, the ending. And then no next time on The Walking Dead.
I know.
Dun, dun, dun. Well,
like,
I was already for like a next time, and I was like, oh, there's no next time. Well,
I mean, I can see why.
It's probably
But
going to be an explosive finale is what it is, and they don't want to spoil anything.
it's just like, oh my gosh, what's gonna happen?
Everyone
Or
dies.
what is happening in this part at the end? And then what's gonna happen?
Did they announce that they were like doing a all 5 game release thingy yet, or is that not a thing for them yet?
Yeah, like the disc version of season 2, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's sometime in the fall. I don't know specifically because I don't need it.
Because you already have. I was about to say you have the season pass, so it's not an issue.
But it's that is happening.
I really wish
also coming to PS4 was the news that was attached to it.
I really wish they would fix the bugs in their games, because holy hell. But I'll get to that when I get to my what you've been playing, though. Oh my god.
yeah, it's all that you on Twitter.
But man, it's so cool. Can't wait to see what happens. Yeah, was there anything that I could say? No, I'll talk to Tekken later. Stuff goes down, as we say.
Yeah, for me, my Walking Dead episode 4, season 2 was just damn, because damn, dude, stuff. It was like damn, just like yeah, it was like because it picks off where you leave off in the last episode, which was effing crazy, and it's just like and then stuff just happens, like Tropical Sin, and it's like, man, that was.
That part was like, because for some reason I expected it to be later. You know, it wouldn't pick up immediately.
Yeah,
it would be like later, and you're sort of in the aftermath. But it was just like, oh, we're here. It's like, oh, dang you, you're gonna make me do it again, aren't you? Yeah. And it's like, oh, it's not. It's like, oh, wait, sort of.
We're not gonna make you do it again. We're just gonna make you relive it. You did this.
It could not have been. Yeah.
But on the bright side, my Clementine's not all sad and depressed anymore. I'm like, it's so weird. I just like did a yo-yo of like my Clementine in season 2 has been going like worse and worse. And this time I'm like, well, things are kind of getting better, but then stuff goes down, and it's like, yeah. Walking Dead, F and F'ers, damn.
Oh yeah, you know the screen, right, when you get to choose the chapters.
Yeah. Oh yeah, that's
image
crazy.
that they use for for episode 4.
That's like so insane. That's like,
I was like,
wow, this is really dire.
This is gonna happen.
That's all. I was like, wow, this is pretty. Yeah. Yeah.
You're welcome.
So is that all you've been playing, Tropical?
Yeah, pretty much.
Would you like to go next, RPG, or would you like me to go?
I can go.
Right.
That'll work. Well, outside of Destiny stuff, I picked up Monster Monpiece and Soul Sacrifice Delta, despite the fact that I'm not a big fan of digital-only stuff. So I was just like, I might as well, though, because they're not going to get a physical release over here.
It's so good on Vita having it that way.
I guess, but there's the memory card thing, and I was like, if I keep buying digital stuff, then I won't have space on my memory card, and I have to buy more memory cards, and it's just this whole waterfall effect or something, or avalanche slide. I don't know. Either way, it's something all snowballing or something into bigger stuff and stuff. But yeah, Monster Monpiece is like it's kind of like a strategy card battle game, sort of, kind of. But when Tekken was like looking up pictures for the box art,
yeah, do not Google image search Monster Monpiece. You will be assaulted with images. That will make you feel.
I think it's because it's kind of like a semi-fan servicey game. I mean, the gameplay itself is.
I wouldn't call that semi-fan servicey.
Well,
I think that's full blown fan servicey.
I'm just saying, like the gameplay and stuff itself is like your normal game stuff, but it's just like there's certain mechanics and the fact that it's like an all female cast and everything that they kind of like delve into the more fan servicey side of things because there's like I guess like one of the important leveling mechanics for the game is like this rub mechanic that you do with your Vita that you have to kind of like rub it suggestively in order to level up your cards, and it removes clothing from your card monsters as it happens. So they get more powerful the more naked they get. That's probably... So
this sounds very Japanese RPG.
It is very Japanese. Why are you so weird,
photosynthesize.
They need to photosynthesize. Yes. That's exactly what it is. Photosynthesis. That's what we're going with.
Clothing gets in the way.
Apparently it does, because they just toss it aside. It's like, I want to be free! So, that's a thing, apparently. So, Japan, you so weird. But, yeah, that is a thing for them. So basically, it kind of works where, like, you use these cards, and there's, like, two opposing sides, and you place the cards on this little battlefield, and they move towards the other side automatically, but you kind of have, like, a difference between melee attackers, range attackers, and status buff cards and stuff like that. So it plays like buffers. Just like that. So it kind of plays like strategy game and semi-tower defense, kind of, but not. It's kind of hard to explain, but yeah, I like it so far. But yeah, it's yeah.
Have you ever had someone walk in while you're playing?
Well, I live by myself, so that's it's not an issue.
Walking on you, rubbing your Vita suggestively.
Yes, that'd be a little awkward. It's like
I actually can't picture what that. Maybe it's because I don't want to.
That's what I'm saying. It's like, do you really want to go down that road? Probably. Do you really? So yeah, it's a strange gaming mechanic, and I think part of it is mostly for it. It's kind of like one of those things like you need a gimmick to sell your game kind of thing, because it probably wouldn't have just sold on its own for just like regular gameplay and stuff. So they're like, hey, let's add a bunch of naked monster girls and rubbing your Vita mechanics, and people will jump onto that. So that's also that's probably most of the reason why it's even been in like the news or anything, is because they had to like ban cards in America and stuff because of it. So it's it's one of those games. So yeah. I also picked up Soul Sacrifice Delta, which is they added so much new content. It's basically like a whole another game. So it's like,
really,
it's like just so many new additions and stuff. I mean, aside from like the new spells and monsters, and all that stuff, they also added the factions to it. I mean, in the previous game, they sort of had like the factions, I guess, because you had the save and sacrifice thing, but in this one they've now separated into 3 different factions, with the Avalon counting as the sacrifice faction, the Sanctuarium or something is like the saving faction, and then the Grim are just like the they don't care faction. They're kind of neutral, so they leave up all their sacrifices to fate and everything, and each of the faction has like their own stories and episodes and stuff. So like in the previous game where you had like the side stories with the sorcerers and they'll have like their own motivation stuff, each of the factions now has that. And like all the stories from the previous game were all Avalon, and they added like 3 more stories in addition to some Reaper story or something for Avalon. And now the other 2 factions have like their own list of sorcerers and stories and stuff to go along with them as well. So they all have their own dozens of chapters and stuff and added and everything, so it's like all that new stuff. You also like in addition to like the new spells and stuff, they also have like combo spells and everything now. You can do like there's like solo combos where you can add elemental properties to your weapons by using like other spells and stuff, and then there's also like team comboing and stuff that you can do now in multiplayer, where it's like if somebody has like a morph spell, if somebody else uses like an arm spell, they can like punch their teammate into like monsters that are like already in the morph and everything. So you can like use that to like increase your spell abilities and stuff. And it's like a whole bunch of new combos and stuff and everything. They also added like a new weather system, which affects like the strength of certain spells, and it like changes the terrain and stuff in some fights. And see here, like when and also like when characters die now, instead of just being able to just lower the defense of enemies or like increase the attack of the players, you can now pull spells from the environment while you're a ghost, and you can actually use them to like distract the bosses or like possess other players to like heal them or like and stuff like that. So now you have like more options when you're dead. And you can also get revived now too from the spirit form when previously you couldn't. So they added that now too. But you have to like find some soul shard or something while you're dead to go do that. And then just like dozens of new missions and everything. And you can now customize your character with different clothing from different sets and everything. So you can change your headpiece to something else that your body piece isn't and stuff. And all these other new additions and stuff. Is just so much new content and so much new stuff. So it's like a whole new game, which is great.
Is it like the difference between FES and Persona 3? Like, is the original game in?
Yes, it is.
Delta? Okay.
The original game is there. Because, like, all your stuff from the old one transfers, but it's, like, all the good it does, because it's, like, a small fraction of all the stuff that's in Delta now. So, because, like, when I beat the first, like, two, because in order to unlock the factions, you have to beat, like, the first Sorcerer chapters for Sanctuarium and Grim, and then it unlocks everything. And then you get, like, well, when I did it, since it, like, transferred my stuff over, it, like, unlocked this list. It was just like a list upon list upon list of all the stuff I unlocked. So it's literally like dozens of missions and stuff that got unlocked, and new sigils and all this stuff that I got afterwards. And then it just unlocked all this other crap, and I was just like, oh my god, there's so much stuff. Why is there so much stuff? So it's just like, it's insane. So and then there's like this new dungeon thing called Alice's something maze. I forgot what it was, but it's kind of like a boss rush kind of, where you go from floor to floor and you kill like different bosses and everything, and you get like certain rewards based on how many floors you clear and how many archfiends you kill and stuff, and and you get like all these bonuses and everything. And they also changed it like based on your faction, because this became a problem with me when I was playing multiplayer. Is like because some factions get different bonuses based on what they do, like Avalon gets better bonuses for sacrificing things, and then Sanctuarium gets better bonuses for, saving things. And also, whether you save or sacrifice kind of affects if it renews your offerings or if it heals you or if it just increases your magic and stuff now. So I keep running into people online where they're like playing the saving faction. I'm like, no, I need to kill all these things. And it's like, so I have to keep leaving everything up to fate in order to kind of bypass it and just hope I get the sacrifice things from that. But it's such a pain in the ass. So that's the thing too now, because like when you leave stuff up to fate, it either randomly gives you the sacrifice or the save, but it also boosts like your abilities temporarily. And with Avalon, if you sacrifice things, it renews your offering, but it renews your offerings if you save things with Sanctuarium and stuff. So it's like it's different based on which factions, and you can switch whichever faction, switch into whichever one you want before missions or whatever. And there's also spells in game that can switch you temporarily, just in case you wanted to, I guess, switch in game, because like I said, you get different bonuses and different spells work differently with different factions and stuff. So it's all kinds of crazy stuff. They also added like a new boosting system called Rumors that you can use as like a way to like make monsters harder or increase the experience you get at the end of missions and stuff. And it's you can get this from like the new shop thing they have now too, where you can do like deck collecting quests, and you can buy new pieces and new rumors and get all kinds of new rewards and stuff. And now they have like this grimoire thing that lists all the spells in the game. Well, all the spell types anyway, and then like they fill in as you get the spells, or if you see somebody else using them, so then it'll tell you how to obtain them, and you can actually go straight to that mission from the grimoire to do it, to obtain it. But some of them, I mean, they also tell you the difficulty and stuff, so you can't just like go in there and just expect to win and get it. So there's that as well, and you get like new titles and stuff based on your intelligence ranking and spells and everything. So it's a bunch of stuff going on in that now. So I like it. It's still fun, and I mean, had we actually done our Golden Crosshairs thing, because it was my sleeper hit for last year, but we never got around to doing that, so yeah, there was that. But yeah, it's a bunch of new content. If you enjoyed the first one, I recommend getting this one. It's awesome. It's all the new stuff and everything. Fun times.
In that case, I only have one question. There's more stuff to read?
There is, because in addition to, because now that there's like new monsters and new levels and stuff, there's also new stories to come with it. So there's all these new thingies and everything, and new bosses and boss abilities, and even some of the old bosses have like, because they added this thing to the Archfiends now where it's called like an ill-cursed part, which is like, I guess like a special part for them that if you break it, it gives you like a special spell. So they added that to the old ones in addition to the new ones as well. So now you can still like go back and fight the other ones and get like different spells and stuff from them too. So and so there's that as well. So and all the stuff that comes with that.
Actually, yeah, I don't think you were here that time. Tekken was talking about Soul Sacrifice, and I didn't know the answer either. Like, there's a part where you can use your mind's eye thing, or the vision thing, and you can tell where the weak points are on the bosses.
Yes.
How do you tell, or how do you hit them, or how do you tell if you're doing anything?
There's like an aura outline to them that it changes colors based on how low their health is. So it starts green, turns yellow, then orange, then red as they get closer to death. And then their weak points or their cursed parts are all they're like on their body. You can like see them as like they come up as like these orange orb thingies or something. So you can see them.
But like,
and then you
just have to eyeball like how you're aiming.
Well, certain spells like the dart spells or the throwing spells with the egg bombs and stuff, you can just aim them at the parts after you've seen them in the mind's eye thing, if you want to do that. And I mean, eventually they will, when they break, you'll see like the blood spewing from the monster, so you'll know you've broken it. And I mean, that's the best way to go. And I mean, there's usually like a little prompt because you get the bonus points for breaking the parts, so there's that. Okay. So you'll know you're doing stuff based on that, I guess. Because
I'll just be launching I think, it's the egg bomb, and suddenly something will happen. It's like, I don't know what I was aiming at, but I guess it worked.
Well, because with ones like that, because since they have like such a large blast radius, you end up hitting. Sometimes you'll probably end up just hitting the cursed part by accident, so it kind of just works in your favor with those. But some of the spells can pinpoint stuff, so it's not as much of an issue. Because even like one of the new combo things too is like if you put like a terrain spell down and then put down one of the bombs, it'll turn into like this Venus flytrap thing that shoots out whatever element you have down for it, and they seem to like aim for stuff too. So I think certain spells just like auto aim for cursed parts intentionally just to help you out. So it's easier. But yeah, I haven't like fought all the new things, but some of the new bosses are kind of like ridiculous because now they've even added like there's 2 new bosses that are categorized as gods in the game now. So I think we fought one when we were like doing the Alice dungeon, and it's like ridiculously overpowered. And I was like, what the hell is this? What is this? What are these shenanigans going on? So yeah, So I'm interested to see all the new monsters and everything, and also the new black rights as well, because they added like I think like 3 or 4 new ones too. Because some guy uses one called Caduceus or something, I don't know how to pronounce it, but I didn't see it. I just know he activated it because the prompt came up and it was like so and so activated the black right blah blah blah. But I was like on the other side fighting the second monster that was on the thing, so I didn't see what he did. But yeah, it's good. I enjoy it. There's also something called the Rite of Transmutation, but it's locked, so I don't know what it does. But yeah, that's a thing too apparently. So yeah, it's pretty much it on that one. I've also been playing The Wolf Among Us. I ended up playing through all 5 episodes because why not? I had them all, so I did. Just the shit teching up, so it happened. And yeah, stuff happened, and I played it. That's pretty much it.
Too bad Tropical hasn't finished yet. We could talk about it. ...
Why? What episode are you on, Tropical?
3, I think.
What?
I lost my save. This is my second time through, and I've actually been doing things differently. There are parts that, well, it's actually really cool. Tekken, have you gone back and played any of it?
No. I haven't done a redo on Wolf Among Us yet.
Like, once you see later episodes, and then you go back and play the earlier episodes, there are so many hints to stuff. It's just like, I didn't notice these things at all. And, well, I mean, why would I? Because I'm not psychic or anything.
Could be.
Just wait till you get to the end, Tropical. Just wait till you get to the end.
That was kind of a weird twist, semi-twist ending, I guess. But, yeah. I don't know.
It's weird because, like, at first I didn't get it, and then I watched someone Let's Play it, and I was like, wait a minute. Like, in my head, I was just like, oh. And now I'm glad I chose the thing I did at the end. I was like, or else I've been like, wait, I felt so stupid, and I was like, oh, okay. I was paying, like, more attention the second time because I wasn't actually playing. I was just, like, watching stuff happen. And I was like, oh, okay. Huh.
Well, when it happened, I was kind of just... Because, I mean, they try to... I think they kind of try to clue you in on it because when it happens and then Big B starts having his whole moment thing, they're like, he's just like, oh, wait. And it's like, that's what they're going with. But, I don't know. I was kind of like let down as with the Cricket Man as a villain because I mean once
I thought he was a good villain.
I don't know because like
he during the I will call it trial scene
because Tropical hasn't gotten that far, but
that was man, that was like the best moment in a game for me, and like
I don't know because it seemed like they were because I don't know, I guess because I was just expecting him to be much more epic than he was because of how they built him up, I guess, over the course of the season, because it was just like, oh, the Quicker Man's behind everything, he's done this and this, and I'm just like, I'm expecting something else, and then I get to him, and it's like, well, huh.
That's the guy?
I know, it's just like, huh.
Well, I think I agree with that, but I liked what the characterizations that they gave to him to, like, make him seem like he could pull that off.
I was not amused during that scene because I was like, it's like I'm gonna really need to shut you up in a second because you're really not helping me right now. So
that's why I thought he was a good villain.
Because I was trying to be nice about it and let him talk, but then I was like, I probably should not have let him talk. So that was stupid Cricket Man. But I don't know. I just felt like I don't know. Although maybe that was intentional. That it kind of needed to be semi-anticlimactic because it's like, but it's like, he's the big villain, but at the same time, there's some loose ends going on, so maybe there's more to it than
I like that too.
It's like there's more to it than you think, so I don't know. I guess we shall see if and when Season 2 happens, so...
It's better.
Better.
Telltale leaves me without a Season 2. I'm just like, I'm done with you, Telltale. I don't care what games you put out. Like, you can't do that to me. Just pull me along in my emotions like that.
But they're working on other stuff.
I was invested.
Sheesh.
Nobody cares about Borderlands or Game of Thrones. It's kind of popular, but Borderlands.
That game's gonna be weird because I
can't take it seriously. I think I'm just like not play the first episode until other people do, and then say it's awesome.
Because at least with The Wolf Among Us and The Walking Dead, it's like their franchises kind of lend themselves to that kind of thing. But with Borderlands, it's like it's an RPG shooter hybrid thingy in some kind of crazy world. I'm not sure. This type of game will work in that. But
I mean, if there was only Borderlands 1, I think that would be the case. But there was Borderlands 2, and Borderlands 2 really fleshed out sort of that the sort of fiction and the humor, and just the characters are really like, I like those characters. Sadly, none of them are going to be in Tales of Borderlands. I don't think.
They could be. Cameo.
Except for Handsome Jack, but he was the bad guy, so I
like Tiny.
So he was kind of funny.
So it would be, I guess it'll be interesting to see what they do with that, I guess, but...
It's going to be weird, actually. Well, in a different way than what you're saying. It's, Tales from the Borderlands takes place in the time of the pre-sequel, right?
I think it does.
I don't know.
I think it's in the pre-sequel. It's
supposed to be like a mid-game.
Yeah,
I think so.
So certain things they won't be able to touch, like, I imagine Claptrap has to appear, right?
Well, yeah.
In the Borderlands game.
He can't not be in it.
Even though he's gonna be a playable in the pre-sequel.
But still. It's Claptrap.
No character development, maybe. Or maybe we find out why he is later.
Or maybe it's like one of his brothers or something. I mean, he's a robot. There could be like dozens of Claptraps or something. And we just don't know it. So, I don't know.
Oh, well. Guess we'll see. I'll play the first episode.
Good. He can be our guinea pig. And then that works. But yeah, as for The Wolf Among Us, though... Wait, have you finished episode 3, or you're just, like, on episode 3?
This is my second time. So I haven't played 4 or 5. I finished 3, then my hard drive died.
Oh, no.
Then I had to start over.
Yeah, because I was worried that I might have to do that at least for, like, episode 5, because the game kept, like, hard freezing. So I was like, oh, no. There's a bug, and I can't get past it. So I was like, you know what, screw it. I just won't play this episode. So I ended up starting 5 over, but it went through, so thankfully I didn't have to, like, start the whole game over, because then I just would have not played it. It's like, well, I semi-know what happened, so...
So was it freezing at the same spot, or was it just random?
It was freezing at the same spot at one point, but then when I tried to... I was like, okay, maybe if I start from, like, the segment right before it, I could probably just play through it, but then it like froze on the loading screen for the segment right before, and I was like, oh, you've got to be kidding me. So I just started the whole episode over, and then it went fine. So that was kind of irritating. Luckily, the first couple of parts of episode 5 aren't that long, so it's like, okay, we can get through this fairly quickly. But, I mean, I was, compared to The Walking Dead, I was slightly nicer, I guess, than I played through. I killed a lot less people, would probably be a better way to put it. that seems more accurate of a statement.
It's not really that kind of world.
Yeah, well, that's part of the reason why. Because I mean, they seem to offer you the opportunity to do so. So I was just like, okay, well. But then I was like, you know, maybe I shouldn't go murdering a bunch of people, because what if this comes back to bite me in the end? Which, hilariously enough, damn trial, seriously. But it's like, yeah, you gotta be careful, I guess, when you play these games, because you never know what might come back to bite you and what might not. So, yeah. Because wait, which episode was the one where that whole Bloody Mary thing was introduced? Was she in episode 3?
That was at the end of 3.
Was it? Okay, so it is safe to go there if tropical. It's kind of that far. Did you guys kill that dude?
Oh, I didn't.
Whoops.
But in my second playthrough on PS3, where I'm ripping someone's arm off in the first episode.
Oh, I almost did that, but I was like...
I did just to see it, and I was like, wow... I feel really bad now.
I mean, I was going to do it for the sake of the mythology, because I was like, haha, it'll be just like his own story. But then I was like, at the same time, I was like, oh, I should probably not do that because of it, because of his story.
Yeah, after seeing the whole season through, I'm like, that's gonna hurt.
And not to mention, I was like, well, what if I end up needing him in like a fight later? And I was like, oh, now he's missing an arm, so like really screwed the pooch on that one. So I just let him have it. But I was like, next time. Although he didn't seem that bad of a guy, though. I think he was just mostly protecting what's her face. So I was just like, I'll let you be a semi jerk. But boy, when the Tweedledum guy came around, I was so happy to rip his throat out. Oh my god. So happy to do that when the option came up. I was like, without hesitation, I was like, yes! Kill him! So, God, because those two, oh my god. If there's ever any character I've wanted to kill so badly, it was them. So, man, when that option came up, it wasn't even a question. I was like, this is happening. This is happening so hard. So, yeah, he had an unfortunate accident where he's now missing half his neck. So, yeah, that'll learn them. Because, man, they cause so much trouble, and they're such assholes. Oh, my God. Those two, man, that was very cathartic. I was like, yes, I feel better now. I'm not going to kill anybody else, but I feel better now. So, yeah, that happened. And in all fairness, though, they did shoot me with a bunch of shotgun shells. I mean, it was self-defense. So, you know. just saying.
Post facto.
Hey, the fact of the matter is they could have had more shotguns, Tekken. And I made sure that if they did, he wouldn't be able to use it. So, I solved that problem rather quickly. Suck it, Tweedledum. Suck it. So, yeah.
So would you say you enjoyed Wolf Among Us? Or it's kind of apples. I would say it's apples and oranges, but would you say you enjoyed Wolf Among Us season 1 more than Walking Dead season 1?
I don't know, because it's like it's kind of hard to like compare the two, because like with the Wolf Among Us, like I mean their properties are like so different from each other.
Yeah.
It's like I don't know, because I like the. I guess like the Fables things, because it's like the whole twist on the fairy tale, or loosely defined fairy tales, because obviously they use like anything from like urban myths and other stuff instead of just fables. But it's just like I like the idea of like the twist on stuff like that. So I guess I like the universe more maybe.
It's all non-copyrighted fictional characters.
Yeah.
Public domain fictional characters.
Yeah, because it's like because when they say fables and then you start playing and it's like they introduce these characters like these are not fables. These are just like you're just pulling out anybody you possibly can at this point. So yeah, it's so yeah.
It's Captain America.
I know, right? It's like, now. Although I wasn't familiar with some of them, so I had to actually look a couple of them up, because I was like, I do not know who you are. So, because like the Ribbon Girl and
Yeah, we were talking about that. I remember.
and I don't know who you are. It's like, so apparently there are, I guess that also kind of works like in your universe or something, because isn't it like the fables are stronger based on who's more popular? So I guess that kind of makes sense with like Big B being like the big bad wolf. Like everybody knows who he is, so it's like he's like all super strong and everything. So yeah, that's pretty interesting. And also it apparently takes a lot to kill them, because holy hell, the poor woodsman. Dear God. Because at first I thought he died in like the first episode, because especially once they put the axe in his head, and I was like, oh my god! But then he's like still crawling. I'm like, how are you still alive? There's an axe in the back of your head. So that was, yeah, They went full on. The fights were pretty brutal in this game, I think, because of it. So it's like
that was a nice touch. I enjoyed that.
It's like, well, it's hard to kill you, so we could just start jabbing all kinds of things inside of you. They are pretty brutal. So especially the one at the pawn shop. Dear God, that was.
I loved that fight scene. Oh man, that felt good.
That was hilariously brutal for him, which he kind of deserved it though, because yeah. See, this is why I felt like no sympathy for any of the bad guys in this game. I was like, you know what, you deserve every ass whooping you're getting because you all deserve this. So, no sympathy for anyone. So, yes, throat ripping, so much throat ripping. They so deserve that. If they allowed that for like every bad guy, well, I mean they almost do, but yeah, so many dead people. So, but yeah, I was trying to be good this time and not be bad. Mostly because it already seemed like most of them, I guess, hated him from the get go or something. So I was like, well, I can't do too many bad things. They already seem to not like him. So, which I mean, I guess because he was the big bad wolf. So there was that. And apparently, it kind of functions the same way as like the Once Upon a Time thing, where one character can be the character from like multiple stories or whatever. So yeah, he was like the big bad wolf for everyone. So yeah, not a popular guy.
Yeah, I'd say I like the universe of The Wolf Among Us more, but I like the scenario of The Walking Dead just because it's like everybody is going to turn into a walker if they die, and everybody's going to die because it is just such a effed up universe.
I think I have to. I think I
unless someone takes out your brain when they take you out, so it's like, oh, she won't be coming back like that. Don't worry about it. Yeah, that was sad, but don't cry, Clementine. She won't turn into one of those things. ...
In her head, so she can't. Yeah, I think I kind of agree because like everything seems slightly more dire in The Walking Dead.
After playing episode 4, I was just like, oh, this is depressing.
Episode
like,
4
there's no happiness at all.
Although it was weird because like I think it was episode 4 when I finally found my reason. Before it was just like, why? If it's only about survival, it seems sort of hollow, and plus it seems like it should be more open. But episode 4 is like, okay, I know why I'm here.
Found your purpose in life.
Yes.
Your meaning, your calling. Now I kind of want to play this to see what's going on.
Like, Clem, this is why we were put on this earth.
Happened to me too, Tropical. Because I backed down from my rule that I have not to spoil anything. But yeah, there was something that happened, and I couldn't do it. And I was like, I can't do it, dude. And then someone did it for me, and I was like, damn. Just wow.
So Clementine was like the focus character for this season then? It's not like... okay, so there's like some weird switch or anything. I'm a little curious as to how that works, because it's like with Lee doing some of the stuff in the first season, it's like, yeah, he can do that, but it's like with Clementine, I don't know if I'd see her being able to do some of that stuff, like, sticking pitchforks into people and stuff like that, because he also had it coming. So, I'm a little curious as to...
It's really cool how they handle characters, and I guess it's not done yet, so we don't really know. But in Walking Dead, there are parts where characters are really fleshed out, and then you never see them again. And it's just like, that's kind of neat. And it's like, that, I guess that's how it would be. You spend some time in a very intense situation, you get to know people, and then you part ways, and there's no reason why you would ever run into that person again.
Unless you find him as a walker.
It all takes place in Georgia, but when you got no cars, like, Georgia is really big.
Although, but at the same time, for that very reason, it should be easier to find them since everyone's on foot. It's like you can only go so far. So, yeah. I don't know. But I think that's another thing, too, that with their games, it's like, because like sometimes you'll like because they're the infamous this person will remember that message, but then it's just like you never know when or if they're gonna still be around.
Like, okay, they remember it, but you don't know that it will ever matter.
Yeah, because it's like, especially when it's like there's some parts like even like in The Wolf Among Us, it'll be like this person will remember that, and then they'll literally die in the next scene, and it's like no, they won't. They will not.
Actually, I think episode 3, they had like a joke on
The
that part
drunkard
where it's
one,
like,
yeah.
that was one of my favorite moments of
I
the
laughed.
season, where it's like,
That's pretty funny.
he will, he will not remember that. Yeah. That was great. I was like, oh, Telltale, you got me.
Pretty clever.
Because the whole time I was trying to like get him to my side, and then it doesn't even matter.
And it's like, yeah, because this is like one of the few times he wasn't like a serious a-hole, and it's like, okay. But then it's like after all of that, it's like, yeah, Grin won't remember this, and he like passes out right afterwards. But yeah, you never know with them. You never know.
Man, I really want to talk about episode 4, but I can't.
No! Not until you finish The Wolf Among Us. And then you can talk about what you want. Except episode 4 and The Walking Dead, because I haven't played it yet.
So is that all you've been playing, RPG?
Yep.
Alright, let me see if there's anything else I've been playing that I haven't talked about. Destiny... I think that's... Oh, Slykeeper. Okay, so Slykeeper Thieves in Time. Got past the part I was stuck on. So I was stuck because I was in the Wild West section, and like usually every section, and you have slides of Ancestor, you can switch into their into like a version of their outfit and like use the power that they have. And like on the Wild West one, you have this ball and chain thing. So you can switch into like the criminal thing, but like on the stuff that you use it on, there's usually like a giant thing or prompt that you can like tell, oh, this is the thing I can use this on, but the thing I needed to use it on, there wasn't that on there. So I was like, oh, that's why I couldn't figure it out. But then if I looked at the floor, there's like tracks on the floor and there's like a thing glowing on it. So if I just move it, then I can jump on it and then jump to something I need to get to. It's like, oh, okay, I finally figured it out. So I got past that part, got to the next area, which is the it's really weird. There's like this really crazy like finale to that section, and like it ends kind of like Back to the Future 3, because they're like in their little time thingy, and there's this crazy jump they have to make, and it's pretty funny. It kind of felt like, developers like, oh man, we could totally just, do some fun Back to the Future stuff right here if we want to, and they just did it, so that's pretty fun. So now we're back in the prehistoric Sly era, and it's weird, but yeah. So that's happening, and Sly's ancestor and stuff. Yeah. Oh, also you got more playable characters because you could play as Carmelita Fox now. She joined the team apparently in the last. It was weird because like I said last time, like there's no dialogue subtitles for the cutscenes, and then like it explains why she's like she shows up kidnapped from the future or something, and then she's whatever. There's this all the cutscenes are like long and drawn out, but I have no sound, or I have sound, but I'm not turning it up in public. So I'm like just watching the cutscene app and trying to like figure out like what's happening. I guess I could rewatch them because there's that option, but yeah, she shows up and then she joins your team. She's like really angry with Sly and stuff happens and whatever, but she joins you, so that's cool. So now she's on the team and everybody else is still there. And so yeah, you get like an extra playable character, and
back
she has
from the future.
Title drop.
She has her own power to use the gun and stuff. So yeah, yeah, still enjoying it, still liking it. It's like just as good as it was the first time around. I don't think I played some Gran Turismo 6, but whatever. It's seasonal events, whatever. Nothing too major. I might have played some Ace Combat Infinity too, but it's kind of fuzzy, all this Destiny. That's all I'm thinking about. And I don't think I actually did touch. I might have played some Mass Effect, but whatever, dude. It's like Destiny right now is like all I can really care about. So it's like, I think I might have. Actually, no, I did get some stuff done in Mass Effect, but it's like whatever. It's like same stuff I talked about. Gold. Ugh. Yeah, don't go there. So yeah. And yeah, that's all I've been playing. So I guess we should move on to the next segment. Or do we have a middle segment? Do you have another question, Mr. Big Tropical?
I don't have a question. I was going to ask about what you thought if Destiny was going to be the big thing, but I think you already know. Yeah. I do think it's going to be the next big thing, as you do. And it's really funny because there was a time when people talked about Titanfall versus Destiny, because Titanfall was supposed to be multi-platform, and then it wasn't. And then Destiny was like, oh, that's tied to PS. It was sort of like the EA and Activision switching sides type thing back before the consoles launched. And, we get to this point, it's like, well, Titanfall has it was just like a blip. And then here we are on the event horizon of Destiny, and we're just going to fall in, and no one will be able to escape.
I think what's going to be interesting to see is with Battlefield getting pushed to next year, which is with the new thing I was talking about earlier, is like that that something that else that could have competed with Call of Duty in that space is gone. So now it's just like Activision is like, oh,
yeah.
So that's really crazy. So now I'm really wondering, like, I mean, I don't know if it's going to be as big as Call of Duty, but I definitely I'm still gone and not looking back. So it's like I'm done with Call of Duty. So it's like I'm not sure if the Exodus will happen, but it's like it might not be that big, but I still think it's it's going to be pretty good just because it's like it takes so many elements from so many different things. And it's kind of like just more going on for it than shoot dudes in the face with the kill button. So yeah.
I was about to say it's also just not Call of Duty. So there's that.
I guess it's rated T as well, so no carding at the door to buy the game.
So it's easy access for anybody.
I hope there are no sequels. I hope they just keep making more and more of Destiny
and stuff.
Yeah,
that'd be awesome.
Well, I mean,
yes, it could finally be that game we always talked about.
Yeah.
Like, just have the game and build on top, and just
Well, the way it's set up, or the type of game it is, I mean, it would make more sense if it's like that, since it's like semi MMO kind of.
Yeah.
It's like you can just add like DLC or expansions or whatever without having to do like full on sequels and stuff, and then because then people might think you're just doing cash grabs at that point. It's just like but yeah, it seems like it would be a platform that's open for stuff like that. So
yeah, I also think with like the events and whatever, you can just keep it fresh by just having new stuff happen all the time, like in MMO.
Yeah.
It's just like they can just keep having new events and whatever, and like instead of having to be like 12 months later, dudes, you got to pump another one out, and just
It's not even an
Call of Duty
expansion.
style.
It's just like new stuff is happening in the game. I think that's enough. If there's enough stuff in the base game, then yeah.
I know, Chad, like I said, man, just looking at the map, it's like new planets, new events, new enemies, NPCs, who knows what's going to show up, new races. Oh, I'm still confused on the Awoken, but like whatever, dude. I'm not even going to talk about it. I was going to talk about it. It was like, I looked up the Grimoire, I read it, and then, okay, here's the thing, I was reading it, and I was like, dude, this is like the Codex of Mass Effect, because it's got like details and all the stuff. The only thing was like, it's not voiced. It's like, you have to read it. You can't just like let it talk to you. So it's like, if only it was voiced, then it was like just like squirting out as you're reading, but whatever.
Well, Tekken, that's not how books work.
I guess like the primary entries are only the voiced ones. The secondary and the other entries you have to read. But whatever. We'll call it even Steven. And
I meant to ask you guys, what are those Grimoire card thingies about? Anyway.
You basically get them and you can read them on the Bungie.net site, and it's like stuff about that stuff that you pick up and you read it. Because like the Awoken one is basically, it's weird because it says like it seems to hint that the Awoken are like a completely different race, but then it says that some Awoken are Earthborn, but it's like, how can they be Earthborn if the only city on Earth is the Towers? It's like, I don't know.
They're mutants.
Or like maybe, but then I'm thinking, dude, it's like, okay, so my brain is kind of like melting as I'm like thinking of all these theories of this game because like it's crazy. So it's like, in the intro to the game, when you get in the beta, it's like, centuries have gone by. So it's like, centuries, that's like hundreds of years. So therefore,
yes, it is.
That's what that means.
That is exactly what that
so humanity has like spread outward into space in hundreds of years, and I guess like eventually they came in contact with these Awoken people, and like I guess they had their own thing going on with the dark because they have something going down, but they don't like humans or something, or the Awoken that are not from there, but whatever, I guess we'll find out. But yeah, so it's like maybe they're not even, human. They're just some other people that were out in space, and they're like, or the Traveler came upon them, and they found the Traveler too, and then they got the light, and then they were out doing stuff in their area of the galaxy, and it's just like, if they happened to the Awoken, who else could it happen to? Ooh, maybe more races later on. I'm just so excited. Just cannot wait. Cause if you look at the, I'm just hypothesizing and speculating here, but like if you look at the opening of the game, and it's like it's been aeons, or I think it says centuries. I don't think it says aeons. So it's been like hundreds of years. So it's like humans like spread way far out beyond like just our solar system. So it's like there's like so much out there. It's like, oh, I can't wait to see it. So it's like that happens, but B, it's like what other stuff is out there that has like maybe come upon the light. Or the Traveler, and then like, or B has like the darkness like just been like on everything, and then like everything else out there is just like like ruins, that would be like so depressing. It's like you go to like all the other planets and all the other places of the galaxy. And it's like, oh, here, like you just stumble upon, oh, here's this one civilization that was minding their own business. Then the darkness came, and the hive came, and the fallen came, and just ate them up, and just and like that would kind of be down. I mean, that'd be kind of be sad if like everything else in the game is just like ruins of old civilizations that just fell to the darkness. Unless one expansion is like, oh, but there's one civilization that was able to hold them off until you came along because there was another traveler or something. I don't know. I don't know. In my brain, I'm just like, oh, dude, this could be so awesome because I'm just getting into the story section.
Like the start of Kingdom Hearts.
The darkest game.
Actually,
nothing. The never-ending story.
Fiction of Battleborn is that all the races, like the universe is dying or something, and all the races ended up on one planet, or like the last planets in the universe, and that's why they're fighting there.
Because it seems like from the intro, it's like, you know, humanity spread out, but then it condensed or collapsed back into Earth because that's where like the traveler stopped, and like that's where like the last city was, and now we gotta like take the fight back to them and go back out and reclaim what has fallen from us. But we'll see. It's only the beta, so I have no idea. So, just you know, speculating. That'd be cool. Just saying, Bungie, if you're listening. You know, planets. Maybe have like an Asari, maybe or not. That's cool. Don't need them. Different game. But yeah. I mean, we already have like robots and like not space zombies people. I can't call them that anymore. And humans. So just keep on adding awesome different stuff. Yeah. Oh, I guess we're in the news. But yeah. So you know, Battlefield Hardline delayed 2015.
Dun, dun,
Yay! No, really, I'm really happy because I want to get it, but October 21st is too soon. And then there was that, yeah, like it did feel like sort of an expansion to Battlefield, as far as multiplayer was concerned. And so they actually went back and they've changed a lot of things. So, for example, one of the things was like the HUD looks basically exactly the same as Battlefield 4. I was like, well, why isn't this just an expansion? And so they're going back and making it look more like in line with the cops and criminals type theme that they're going with. And then the other thing was, people complained that there was like too many explosions in the beta, because I mean, it sort of makes sense in Battlefield. It's like, oh, you know, rocket launchers and just all this sort of heavy ordnance. It's like, why would people have all of that? You know, like it's the same thing as having robbed two cars. The criminals then detonated a skyscraper. It's just like, it makes no sense. And so they're trying to balance that out, and it's like, so the frequency of explosions will be a lot less in the full game, so that it fits with the fiction better. And so they're doing lots of stuff. Like, I'm glad it's being pushed back, not because they're afraid of Call of Duty, but because they need more time to make it better. And it's good because that means Q1 games and less Q4 games. Always good.
Or is it?
I just thought that was crazy because like Activision is publishing Destiny and they're also publishing Call of Duty, and it's like we already kind of suspect Call of Duty is going to like just destroy. And it seems like, you know, we don't really expect, you know, Battlefield to ever be like super awesome sales numbers versus Call of Duty, but it was kind of like the only other first-person shooter out at the time to be like, well, maybe this year will be different. Now it's just like, oh, there's nothing to defend the realm, and it's just going to be, oh, look at that. Activision just strolls in town like, oh, there's no competition here. Money. It's just happy accident for them, I guess. And then also Dragon Age Inquisition delayed to November 18th, which is like a month from when it was supposed to come out, October 7th. So one less game in October, even though it gets moved into a Murderer's Row November.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, it's better that way because, I mean, I probably didn't need Dragon Age anyway, so that kind of helped. So I don't have to worry about buying it and not liking it like I did the other ones. I feel better now.
But yeah, they basically just wanted to like polish the game more and make it better. So we'll see. Well, I won't be seeing it because I'm not getting, but we'll see.
Someone will.
I will be able. Yeah, I will be able to take somebody else's, experience with the game and stuff.
Gamer will probably get it. So. So you always have him. You'll always have Gamer.
Is there any other news besides that? Oh, I guess Wii U owners can now transfer their data to another Wii U with a software update. So
yay! Well, I mean, who has two Wii Us? No, there was other news. This week was MPDs on Thursday. Despite Microsoft's, we sold twice as many as in May. PS4 was still the number one selling console.
Yeah.
That's kind of crazy. Either they sold really, really few in May, or actually, I guess we know that they sold really, really few in May. But no, I guess it's not crazy. We all knew it was coming.
Because even at the same price point, though.
Yeah, it was never a matter of only price.
Yeah.
As some people think it was.
It all had to do with that awesome thing called Kinect that no one ever wanted. 'Cause, seriously. I don't know.
It's just, man, Xbox is now the politician of the console world. Like, what do you think about this? And Xbox response is, well, what do you think about that?
Because that's exactly how I feel about it, so we should all be friends.
Why don't you tell me what you want, and we'll do that.
Yeah, because at this point, they now
in
have
control.
They really have gone back on every single thing now at this point. So
yeah, that's the other news. Microsoft went through a whole bunch of layoffs, something like 18,000 was it across the entire company?
Was it that?
Yeah, it was a lot. Two of the casualties in the Xbox division.
Oh yeah.
Xbox Entertainment Studio, which was going to do all the original TV programming and stuff like that, is being shut down. So, whatever projects they were working on will continue, but everything else is being cut off. And they're not going to be doing that. The other group, Xbox Europe, apparently is being gutted, and there's just going to be basically no one besides the studios, I guess.
So I guess next E3.
Yeah, next E3 actually is going to be easier for them. They're going to be able to show Gears and Halo 5.
Yay.
But
you still want these things? Come back to us. Come back.
We're still that cool guy who used to hang out in the lunchroom. Be our friend again. God.
Yeah, I think they're in a very difficult place now, and I don't know, because I see it from two sides. I like thinking about the strategy, but I'm also like a consumer plus. I buy lots of stuff and think about the things that I buy after I buy them. So, the impulse buying doesn't really. Anyway, I don't know what they could do except for my crazy price drop idea. I don't know what they could do to get me to buy an Xbox One at this point.
Especially after the look at Nintendo rise from the ashes, ... Zelda, that looks so good. Oh. It's like, I don't even care about like the stuff I don't like about them. It's like, even if they have like the crappy, your stuff is tied to your one account or console or whatever, it's like, whatever, dude. I just want to play me some Toad and Zelda and I'm good.
Yeah.
It looks so good. Like, no.
Like Wii U
Starbucks, yeah.
propelled itself, if not first console, their second console now. That's the one you get next. Or if
I'm just like wondering if there's anybody out there that's like just so jaded of like ex-Nintendo fan, or like just they just had no experience with Nintendo because they like bought or they only played like Sony and Microsoft stuff that they have no like Nintendo has no relevance to them. I wonder what the percentages of people or gamers that is like Nintendo has like no relevance to their gaming tastes or whatever experience.
Yeah, I guess that's true. I mean,
because that could happen.
The real golden age of Nintendo was like what Super Nintendo time period, Nintendo 64.
Because
So
64 and GameCube were
yeah, there's like really young people playing games
PlayStation
now
beat up on them
that have no idea what those were.
Yeah.
That's interesting. Although, most kids I think did grow up with like a DS though. Judging by the number of DSs that are out there.
But then I guess it's kind of irrelevant to look at it that way because the average age of gamers is in like 30s, so that might who knows how much of an influence that has.
Keep shifting.
And it is like the only family/child friendly console.
Yeah.
Although they do have a lot of not
even though they were like Bayonetta, E3.
It's like you have games like Mad World and No More Heroes and House of the Dead, Overkill and stuff. It's like those are not for kids. You do not play that as a family. So
Mad World. I need to find that game. But yeah, well, I don't know. Like I think so. They can't do my price drop idea, but they could do something that seems really generous like that. I don't know what it is, but for example, like Ouya's All Access Pass. Like my Ouya was not hooked up, or it was, but it was hooked up to a TV that wasn't hooked up. So basically, it wasn't hooked up. And after the All Access Pass thing, I bought it, and then that means they made money on me for the Ouya for the first time ever, and I'm actually playing it some. And, that's way more than they could have said about. So, that got me to play Ouya. Wii U actually has really good deals going on right now. The thing where you buy Mario Kart 8 and then you get a free copy of one of the 4 digital games. I just noticed the other day that I bought the Zelda Wind Waker bundle, right? That came with Wind Waker digital. And when I redeemed the code to Nintendo, they basically counted it as me buying Wind Waker. And so, the 30, the deluxe consoles have that digital deluxe promotion thing where you get, I think it's 10% back on your digital purchases.
Oh, yeah.
So I got money back on Wind Waker, which I didn't actually buy. And then when I redeemed my free game for Mario Kart 8, they also counted that as me buying that. And then I got money back on that one. So I got money back on 2 games that I didn't even pay money for. It's just Nintendo is doing things right now for me that I feel like this is very generous, and now I feel like I want to play more of their console. And I think PlayStation Plus had that effect too. It's just if I was not already playing a lot of PlayStation, having so many games is I feel like I should play more PlayStation because
actually I had a PlayStation Plus. I'm not gonna say it was an accident. Whatever. There's some deals. Got some more PS4 games. Let's just say. The horde is growing. Yeah, that and Lego Marvel for $8. I was like, what?
So cheap. So I think there are some things where they could, if they can't win our loyalty anymore or win our patronage, they can buy it.
Sometimes I'm wondering, does gamer loyalty even exist anymore? Just look at what happened to Xbox One. Everybody turned on them. It's abandoned ship.
There's so much that turned on them. It's so much they realized the truth.
Yeah, I don't think people have brand loyalty, but they have console loyalty. So you can be loyal to your 360, but still hate the Xbox One, even though they're from the same company. Nobody cares about that part. They only care about the console itself.
That's a good point. I guess it does make sense because it is a new beginning. Therefore, it's not what did you do for me the last however many years? It's what are you doing for me right now?
Last time doesn't It's just it resets every console generation. So there really isn't, unless like there are some people who are really hardcore, but for most people, I think there is no brand loyalty. There is only console loyalty. So that's cool. That's fun to know.
Which is why the consoles of wars will last forever.
They should make a game out of it.
I think they did. Isn't that what that hyper...
Is that what hyper dimension?
I think that's what that is. Kind of. Somewhat.
It should be more overt, I think. That would be fun. Or maybe infuriating,
mechas?
I don't know.
There should be Transformers. Every game should have robots. Including the console war. Because why not?
Let's see. What other news was there? Activision, EA.
I was going to ask you, Chapter Cole, when you were making those tweets about the international tour or whatever, and like so would you say like the commentary was better than Evo? Because you seem to like not like it at all.
So,
not as
well,
much
actually, it was. I think the thing is just like esports is really young, and there are no people who went to school to become esports announcers. They're just like there are people who thought it would be fun and then became popular because sheerly by the virtue that other people watched them. Not
or
necessarily,
nobody else was doing it.
Yeah, like not necessarily that they were the best or that they're really good. It's just that maybe people didn't have options, and then that's why those people are famous. And so I don't know this 100%, and I'm not trying to be disparaging, but this is what it feels like. It feels like the people that they invite to be commentators at is it the International or the Invitation? They call it TI4. It was the big Dota 2. The big Dota 2 tournament. In the end, a team of 5 Chinese guys won $5 million.
Oh my!
It's the International. I just looked it up.
The International? Okay, yeah. So the commentators are basically people who have been doing esports commentating for a long time, and that is their qualification. And they know the games, but I don't know. Oftentimes it just. So it was on ESPN over the weekend, and I thought, oh, that's cool. We were talking about this last week, where it's like Evo, it feels very exclusive. There's no effort made to bring in new audiences. It's just the terminology and everything, and it's just like if you're new or you don't know anything about a certain fighting game, you watch Evo, and it's just, you still don't know anything about that game. And the International was kind of like that for some of the commentators. There was actually a group that I really liked. One of them, it was basically the same way that they do football announcing. There was like the color guy, and then there was the analytical guy. And the color guy was really good, and the analytical guy was really good. And that was the only match where I sort of understood what was going on. But some of the other ones, like, they were using unnecessary acronyms. It's just like, one of the things that they kept using was something called BKB. It's like, oh yeah, they had more BKBs, and it's like, what the heck is that? And I looked it up, and BKB stands for Black King Bar, which still means nothing to me. It's just like, what is this? And so I had to look that up, and it's like, oh, it's like this item that gives you magic immunity. It's like, you could just say that. It's like, okay, so I understand BKB, that maybe that's easier to say, or it's just, everyone is accustomed to that. Fine, that's fine. Like, a sack in football doesn't mean anything to anyone who doesn't play football or know anything about football. So, you can have your specialized terminology, but they went too far. They were using BO1 and BO3 to refer to best of 1 and best of 3. And it's like,
oh, yeah, that's pretty
that
bad.
makes no sense. Like, it's the same number of syllables. It takes the same effort to say. You're just adding unnecessary complexity. It was very. The commentary, they need to do more if they want people to watch. I thought it would be better because it was on ESPN, but it was just the same group of people who would probably do it even if it wasn't on that channel, and so it was just, you're watching like, yeah, I don't know what's going on. Like, there's stuff flashing, and, you know, I've actually played Dota 2, and I couldn't understand what was going on.
Wow.
And then, at the end, when the team newbie won, they came out of their box. Like, that's how esports work. The team sits in a box. I guess it's soundproof. And so they can't hear the other team, and they can't hear the announcers. And then when they finish their game, they come out of the box, which is clear, and, yeah, that's an aside. And they come out of the, and, yeah, as there was no, like, award ceremony, there was no one on stage. It was just them and camera people surrounding them, 3 like video cam people, so it's like for the broadcast, and like one of them, they were just like cheering to themselves sort of and cheering out to the audience. I don't know if the audience was really cheering. There was like fireworks going off in the back, and you know, they had to take their own trophy. It's like, oh, the trophy's been there for 4 days, and they just walked up to it and took it. It's like, this feels really strange. Like, there's no organizers, there's no one here. It's just like, they just let them stand on the stage and do whatever they want for the next however long until they figure out, oh, we should go do something. We should move the show along. It was like, it felt very disorganized.
Yeah, honestly, I was thinking, like, maybe with, like, this sports center analogy, like, maybe it was, like, some other things, like, in gaming when it's, like, you know, some people are, like, with cutscenes and whatever, it's, like, maybe just games are trying to use another medium that they think is popular and, like, try to do that sort of thing in gaming, but it's like, you know, I don't think it's like there's really anything else you could like really equate Sports Center to where it would be as good with, you know, how could we make this a better, better situation.
I think, you know, now they should recognize, I think, that these are the early days of esports in sort of the wider arena of just like spectators. So, you know, recognizing that, they should try to make it as easy to understand as possible. I mean, you know, don't dumb it down so that your sort of core audience is going to be like, oh, you know, they're wasting so much time talking about things I already know. But you got to do some of that. Otherwise, it's always going to be the same audience, and the same audience, like, people get bored of things, and that audience only gets smaller. So... yeah, I don't know. There's just the commentators need to understand that, you know, you're there not to provide your reactions. You're there to provide the narrative for like what is going on in the game. You're supposed to interpret the game for us. And you know, the analyst desk people, like, you're supposed to make that narrative. You're not 4 gamers who really like Dota and just chatting about the game you just saw. You're trying to make sense of it in the greater context and things like that.
Yeah, I guess if you think about it, if you look at like the X Games, that did a good job of like transitioning from what I'm guessing wasn't as as like a
it was probably less quality, pro, and now like it's really pro.
Now. Yeah,
they need that. They need to find the people who can do that, and then do that for esports. And then, yeah, like, the stuff is really exciting. The one game that I understood is like, wow, that was really exciting. The other games is like, I don't know what's going on. He's just scrolling around. There's a guy over there. Oh, something happened. There was like lots of spells and effects on the screen. And then everyone was yelling. And then, I don't know what's happening.
Oh, the other thing I was going to ask you was, like, when you watched StarCraft 2 commentary, was it any better, or was it just on the same level of, like, you know, this could be better, but it's not as good as it could be?
That one, I think the thing is just different types of games lend themselves to different types of commentary. And I'm sort of hesitant to speak about StarCraft 2 because I understand that game really well. And so when I watch, and, you know, I don't notice the specialized terminology or anything like that when I'm watching StarCraft. Because that game, like, I know the terminology, and I sit there and it's like, oh, yeah, I understand what's going on. It's like, wow, this is really epic. And then, but, you know, even saying that, I think StarCraft is a bit slower. It's one-on-one, like a fighting game, but it's a lot slower, and it's easier to look at what is happening on the screen because the teams are divided by color. Like in Dota, the teams don't seem to be divided by color. It's just you have to know what each character in the game looks like. And it's just like, if you've never played it, or you've never played most of those characters, there's no way you can know that. And, there's a little portrait over here. It's like, okay, I'm looking for the bird beak guy. But then you look on the screen, it's like, their heads are so tiny, I can't tell if there's a beak on that guy. So, like, Dota there's a lot more to know, I think. And then, like, fighting games are really fast. And that's why those are hard to follow. Because, it's not interesting to hear a commentator just say that, sort of announce every punch and hit and how much life the guy lost. Like, those things you can kind of clearly see. Like, it would be more interesting to know the strategy and, like, what is going on in the meta game, I think. That's more interesting. That makes it feel like it's something skilled and not just something random. It's like, oh, well, of course he lost life. He got hit. There's nothing to understand there. Like, that's what it is. Like, you need to know why he got hit or how the other guy was able to hit him. Like, that's where it's interesting. Whew. Esports rants. See, I am for esports. I'm not saying it's terrible and it should die. I'm saying it's sort of terrible. How do we make it better? And by we, I mean, how do you guys make it better?
Apparently, GeoHot was hired by Google, who is the PS3 hacker that broke the PlayStation 3 anti-piracy measures.
Did all that stuff back in the day.
That was interesting.
Yeah. Well, he was working at Facebook, wasn't he, originally? Like, after the hack thing, I think he got hired by Facebook.
I don't remember. I thought he was... I don't know.
Was he hiding somewhere? I don't remember.
Oh, Fatal Frame on Wii U. Did we talk about that?
Only in Japan?
Yeah, it's for now. You never know.
Dang, damn.
I'm already back to being on holding out hopes. It's nice to want things. Yeah, it might happen.
Nintendo.
Well, it took them long enough to make one. I mean, sheesh. It's all like, this should have been one of the first types of games that they made for the Wii U. It's like, it was pretty much just made for this. People never listen. Until it's too late.
Also, there's apparently going to be a photo mode also in The Last of Us Remastered on PlayStation 4, like there is on Infamous Second Son.
I'm looking
so that will be fun to see.
That game.
It's a photo mode.
Oh my gosh. That's next week, isn't it?
Yep.
Holy crap. Just so much going on. So Destiny ends on Sunday. And then we have to wait for actually only a little more than a month. So not too bad. Gamefly must really like me because the last time I tried to unsubscribe, the first time I tried to unsubscribe, they said, oh, if you stay with us, we'll give you the next 3 months for $10, which is, like, their regular rate is $16 a month. So I was like, okay. So I stayed. And then this time, I was like, okay, I'm canceling because I have too much stuff to play. Like, there's no point. And then this time they're like, okay, how about this offer? If you stay for the next month, you will get it for free.
It's like, please don't leave us.
I don't know what you get out of this because I'm not paying you any money, but okay. So I'm currently in a free month of Gamefly.
You should just order everything.
Everything. Just, man, it makes no sense.
That is weird. Although, I mean, maybe people were like leaving them in droves or something. Because I mean, I'm kind of curious as to how big the whole rental thing for games is at the moment. When
it does feel really desperate. And the thing
there
is,
was
like,
a story today about GameFly having like 20 to 50% of the people that rent games from their kiosks keep them and purchase the full, or keep them because, like, I guess with GameFly, if you like keep the game, you can like just buy the disc and like do that.
Yeah.
So they just that's pretty interesting.
It's actually a pretty good deal a lot of the times. You get better conditioned cases than GameStop because those have been in people's houses, and GameFly's like haven't. Like they've just been sitting around in their warehouses or whatever. So like the downloadable stuff, I think you still get that too. I mean, there's less and less of them, but like the online passes, like those come with the GameFly games that you buy used. Because no one has used them. And then sometimes, like, the used games are just really cheap. And, like, the longer you're a member, the more discount you get on them. So I think it's, like, after 9 months, you get 10% off of all the used games. And they give you $5 every month, or every 3 months to spend. Yeah, I guess all that sounds pretty desperate. Or maybe they just make a lot of money selling off of their inventory.
Yeah, that could be the case too.
It's like, I think game rental has always been a weird thing, because when you go out and you look at reviews, for example, the games that they tell you to rent are sort of B tier, I guess. But the thing is, like, rental stores don't want to carry B tier because they're not going to make a lot of money on those. They want to carry A tier games. And so you can't rent the games that people tell you to rent because the rental stores don't want to carry them. You can only rent the games that everyone says you should buy. And so
actually, speaking of that, I see a lot of weird comments lately about people being like anti-pre-order, of like, oh, don't pre-order the game because blah 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 blah, publishers and retailers. Blah. It's like really weird conspiracy theory level stuff. I was like, but what if they just really want the game?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It started, actually, it's been going on for quite a while. I think Kotaku was the first few articles that I saw where they're just like going out and telling people not to pre-order games. And it was around the time when it started,
Aliens?
like it was the retail exclusives thing first.
Oh, yeah, that's the reason.
And then it was like, yeah, Aliens, because it was like so awesome looking. And then the game came out, and it wasn't that game that they showed us.
But, like, I don't see how not buying a game or how not pre-ordering a game would, like, change the whole pre-order thing, because that's, like, why they're doing that in the first place, is to get more people to buy the game.
That is true.
Because, like, their game trailers, that when some guy on there had a rant about it, and I was like, whatever, I completely do not care about the subject. I'm going to keep pre-ordering games I want to play, whatever.
It's a weird thing. Like, their hope is pre-order, like, retail exclusives. They don't want those. So they're like, how do you stop those? Like, stop pre-ordering, and then they'll stop doing pre-order exclusives. Like, is that right?
It's like, but if you're gonna buy the game anyway, ...
Yeah, it's like, we're winning here.
It's like if you pre-order it from GameStop or whatever, then they take that money that you're giving them and then you just sit on it and use it. But it's like, it's only $60. So,
yeah, it's like,
if not a lot of people pre-order the game, and like B, A is that, and B, if it's like some niche game like RPG likes, and then it's like, you know, only those publishers can only survive by people like going out and getting them before they ship, because they're not going to order a lot of quantities from a retailer will not get that many quantities of a game like that. So that's why that exists. They can know how many orders to put in.
I don't know. I look at it as like, well, I'm not paying anything more, but I'm getting more stuff. And if other people feel like they're losing stuff because I'm getting stuff, it's like, well, one, it's not true. I was like, yeah, that's a weird way to feel. Plus, people always write about these things like, oh, do we need this? Do we need another console? Does Destiny need to have expansion packs? Do they need to have DLC? Like, we don't need any of these things. Like, the question when I see it, it just seems ridiculous. Like, how are you going to argue in favor of not needing when that is, like, the obvious conclusion? Like, you don't need games.
The current state of games journalism in 2014. ... Okay, I found some more news stories. So Evil Within will be moved up a week on October 14th. So, you know.
They showed the new Doom at QuakeCon.
Yeah, that was my other news story.
But apparently we aren't going to see it until next year because it's not really ready. But because there are so many rumors about Doom being doomed, haha, they, like, I forget his name, but he was like, oh, we have to show it to somebody. And so they decided to show it at QuakeCon to show the fans that it's going to be all right. But it's like way far from ready. They wouldn't have shown it if they didn't have to do that. And so he's saying next year at E3 probably is when they will actually show it.
Well, here's some breaking news. Sony has agreed to pay $15 million in a settlement of the 2011 external intrusion data breach class action lawsuit.
Dun, dun, dun.
Who gets the money?
Not me, because I wasn't part of it.
Wait, but if it's class action, it's everyone who got externally intruded.
Hold on, I haven't read it. I'll give you the link.
We'll get to opt in or out.
Oh, good point. I might get to option after all. So it still won't be enough. I mean, you know, all I can do now is dream of the day when I will be in my space bubble, freely away from any external.
I mean, in all fairness, he has never gotten over that.
The thing is, though, I don't think anyone's credit card information was ever, like, there's no evidence that anyone's credit card was ever actually
I don't know. I've had
through that
fraud problems on mine since then, so. Sony!
And, you know, they gave the year of fraud protection, that's not free, and the, how much PlayStation Plus was it? 1 month? And the, free games that they gave out. And now, 15 million, and they said, how many people were on PSN at the time?
It says 77 million.
Wait, was it 15 million settlement?
Yeah, $50 million in the settlement.
And there was 77 million PSN accounts?
It says,
I was about to say,
it said led to the theft of names, addresses, and possibly credit card data belonging to 77 million user accounts.
Ah, so pennies.
You're welcome. Sheesh.
Well.
But I mean, I think like you were saying, Tropical, I don't think anybody was like majorly affected, at least outside of his psychological effect. But
out of psychological trauma.
Psychological trauma never goes away, RPG.
I noticed.
I will forever have PTSD over this.
I noticed, because at every opportunity.
Just think. I remember.
Never forget.
Never forget. External intrusion.
Well, this isn't really news, but someone posted on NeoGAF a gigantic list of upcoming beta games, like 150-some upcoming beta games with screenshots.
No.
And when you see it, it's just like, wow, there's a lot of games coming to beta.
I already pre-ordered.
Contrary to popular belief, 150 games at least, with pictures.
Well, I mean, I already knew that, though, because I have Vita stuff pre-ordered.
I sort of knew, but, like, seeing that post was like, oh, man. I haven't heard of a bunch of these, actually. This is a lot of games coming out.
You'd be surprised. is tropical.
Oh, actually, there's this other cool thing with the Twitch. Well, it's not a gaming thing. Never mind. It's a new feature. Never mind. Forget what I said. I'll talk about it after we're done. Channel Aimless coming soon. That's all I'll say. Streaming aimlessly all the time.
Forever. I felt left out.
Because the internet's not 24/7, man. It never goes down. But when it does, it'll come back eventually. So, yeah. Just wait a couple minutes or hours.
I don't know. That's the news I have. Comic-Con is this weekend, so
Oh yeah,
probably
and it's going to
lots
be
of
there.
stuff coming out of there.
Yeah. Wait. Back in Batman Arkham Knight DLC. Speaking of pure DLC, so not only are we going to get Harley Quinn at GameStop, but also Red Hood story missions. Oh,
Dun dun
can't wait to see how they characterize that guy, because that'll be interesting.
Well, I mean, you kind of know how they're going to characterize him. He's that one guy. You know the guy. But he's no Tim Drake, so doesn't matter.
The dead Robin that came back. Yeah. And he's angry all the time.
He is angry a lot.
'Cause he died.
Well, I mean, yeah. I mean,
You'd be angry.
you'd be kind of angry. I was saying you'd be pretty angry too. So.
Alrighty, so I guess we can sign out and be away until next week.
Cool. So check us out, aimlesspodcast.com, YouTube, Facebook, Twitter. Follow those.
We everywhere.
And Twitch, which we're on now.
We're inside your house. You can find us there under your bed.
Oh, and to answer last week's question of the end of the episode, I finished Stick It to the Man.
Stick it to the what now?
It's a fun game.
Is it tropical? Is it?
Yes.
Alright, so don't need to repeat what Tropical said, so until next week, what will happen? Will there be another game delay or release or something that gets the Aimless podcast team excited or depressed? Will someone finish a game? Will RPG be here next week? Who knows? Find out on the next episode of Aimless Babble. Z.
Just another wonderful day.